Understand this and you will take consistent action. Imperfect, consistent action always beats perfect, inconsistent action. Last week, I went to an entrepreneur meetup on Sunday night at this really nice high status location where it was this nice luxury bar. And I was talking to one of the guys about my problem with consistency. And then he proceeded to give this analogy about consistency. He talks about there were two groups of people. One group of people had the task of building the best pot, the most perfect pot in 1 hour. And then the second group had the task to build as many pots as they could. They could, crack, they could crash, they could build and destroy. And guess who came up with the most perfect pot? Guess. It was the group which, just made a bunch of shitty pots. And it weren't so shitty after all, after 1 hour. And so you get better by doing it. Not by, trying to make things perfect and obsessively on the smaller details. This was something that held me back because I felt as what I have to say has no value unless it went through all these filters and editors and all these edits. I saw all these YouTuber friends who I saw online at the time who were around 1,000 subscribers who are now on 100,000 subscribers and they just posted once per week, and it fucking pissed me off. Because I could have been exactly like him, but I didn't do the actions necessary. And what destroyed me and what stopped me was the fear of imperfect action. That's really it. And that was fear, because I just feared that I would make something bad. And I let fear control me. When fear is the direction, fear is your North Star. If you fear something, it's probably something you should do. I remember in 2023 where I feared cold approaching girls, and there was a period where I would just go out to nightclubs and I would just start approaching like I was a fucking maniac. I was also afraid of telling my parents I didn't want to go down the conventional path and telling them my honest thoughts. That was scary. And so you're dealing with so much uncertainty and fear. This is what the universe or God wants you to be like. God wants you to be responsible. The world, God, the universe, that it wants you to be able to handle more. And the reason why it's voting for you to be able to be more competent, to be able to say yes and handle more, is because when you're able to take on more responsibility, when you're able to handle more shit, you're able to handle imperfect action, you're able to handle your parents' criticism, when you're able to handle whether you're doing the right thing or not. You have so many uncertainty, whether if the thing that you're even working for years a month is even going to work. If you're able to handle this fear and uncertainty, this anxiety of talking to that girl, the world will hand you everything that you fucking want. And when I lean into fear, and when I lean into anxiety, and when I lean into uncertainty, that's when the biggest shit happened. When I spent all my paycheck on mentorship, when my account is basically $3, $4, and there was nothing in there. That's what facing uncertainty is. The more you're willing to put yourself in situations where there's a lot of uncertainty, the more shit that is going to happen to you, the more amazing things that it will happen to you. I will promise at least something interesting will happen. If you want a story, you need to do interesting shit. Now, what are interesting things? Putting yourself out there. Fear, pain, uncertainty, anxiety. This is what change is. You forgot what it was like. It's because you got complacent. You went through the initial stages of improving yourself and you felt the pain of trying to change. And then you go through a change and you feel really happy about it. But then after a while, you get complacent and then you feel the pain again. It's this constant up and down and up and down. True growth requires pain. You almost need to be dissatisfied with your situation. This may be an unhealthy way, but this is sort of the way that I recognize a lot of people change. They hate where they are and they have a desired state where they want to be, and they really hate where they are, and then they do whatever they can to get to that desired state. So if you want to level up, it will take that pain of sticking yourself out there, talking to that girl, going and cold approaching, and having that risk of being judged, laughed at, and rejected. Even though it's not as bad, it's sort of the mental pain you have to overcome. That mental resistance, the pain of facing mental resistance is the thing you actually have to overcome. Not the action itself, but the resistance, the mental resistance in your brain. So I want you to understand that imperfect action is the way. Imperfect action means doing something despite it not being the best, despite you being anxious all the time, despite you feeling anxiety, despite you not wanting to do it, despite you feeling like it's what you made is shit and you still post the video, despite you not being in the best state, despite you having not a lot of money in your bank account and you still buy that program, despite putting yourself on the line and being potentially humiliated. This is imperfect action. You need to understand this concept because this will serve you so much. That I've been wasting so many hours, years of my life because of this fear of imperfect action. How I got to this stage was from someone giving me advice. And you know the quote, you are the average of the 5 people you hang around. If you know you hang around with people who have relentless attitudes and they have this amazing paradigm and mentality, they have this abundance mentality to money, if you hang around with these people, you know you will become exactly like them. Even if the people around you are making 8 figures, making 50 grand a month. If you're the lowest person and you make 10 grand a month, that's pretty good. Social circles and tribes are fucking powerful. I wouldn't have been able to make this video if I didn't go to that social event, if I didn't hang around certain people. The people you hang around will shift your paradigm, they will shift your mentality, they will shift your mindset, and you will adopt their mentality. Social circles are like a cult. When you go into that, you start to adopt their beliefs and ideology. Make sure the group you're joining serves your purpose and serves your goals. Click the description, join the community if you need help building that social circle, which elevates you, actually elevates you. I want you to have some fucking ambition and raise the bar for yourself. Set your own standards higher. You've been setting your standards too low, and look at where it got you. Literally look at yourself. Where did low standards get you? Being broke, not having the friends you want, being socially anxious all the time, having mental health issues, being fat, being skinny, not being respected. Where did having low standards get you? So really ask yourself that. Do you want low standards or do you want high standards? Join the community below if you're that type of person who wants fucking more. Don't join the community if you don't want more. You get booted out. My name is Darius and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.